Hey there guys, this is Jesse with permofit. So I wanted to show you just a quick inside look at the pump I'm going to use for my water reservoir for my hydroponics setup. Just take it apart real quick. It's a diaphragm pump instead of like a centrifugal or centrifugal pump, where it's got the fins and the blade and everything else. So works on a little bit different principle. I don't know if it's going to be better or worse and everything, but I'll just give you a quick overview. We'll see how it works. This guy uses fairly small volumes, but it'll do 3 gallons per minute. So it's making up volume per pump with speed of pump, I guess you could say. So let's give you a quick overview of the motor and then take the pump housing apart and show you how it works. So. All right, so here's the pump. This is a medical grade piece of equipment. It was given to me by a vendor. It was a misplaced order or something like that and stuff. So it was a freebie, kind of. 24 volt DC, 3 gallons per minute. The E per minute, I don't know what that means. I'm not sure. Model number. Let's see, 4.6 amps. Pressure setting. So down here it says basically do not exceed 40 psi. We shouldn't get anywhere near that. So here's the housing. It's got 3 lobes. And here's your inflow. There's your outflow. Well, the whole housing comes off. I took the screws out. It's 3 screws that holds the pump housing onto the motor housing. You can see right there. It's got a keyed shaft or a flat shaft. Here's the back side of the pump. It's keyed there so it fits. This shaft spins this, which moves the diaphragms. So take this guy apart. Voila, there's the top of the diaphragms. This is just housing. So your inlet, which is here, comes here, gets sucked into these lobes, and then the lobes draw it in through here, which is in this chamber here. And it's a better way to set it up. So the diaphragms move, and as they pull it in here, that's the same as this area here, and then it gets pressurized into the lobes, so all 3 of them, and then it gets pushed out through this center portion here, which is here, which goes directly out here, which is the outgoing port. So let's look inside here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Bam! Bottom. These are just flaps. As pressure, negative pressure pulls on this, vacuum pulls on this, they get pulled in, and then this is just a flap going the other direction. And as the pressure builds, it'll push through this edge, this lift up, which is right along here, and then it makes its way into there. So fits like that. This guy here, these don't do anything. So here, see, this is going to be a challenge one-handed. So I will spin this shaft and you tell me what's happening. Well, I can't hear you because this is video and that's a silly question for me to do. So I'm spinning the shaft. Do you notice anything? Probably not. So if you look closely at the way this is designed, notice how that's not flat. So there's the key. It's keyed. And as this spins, the flat side changes. So so there's a friction component here. There's grease on there. I got grease on my hands. Not a ton, but so as you spin this, if this were mounted flat as it spins, it basically does this. The plastic part wobbles, and each one of these wobbles pushes up and down just a hair. So you have this small amount of space between this cup and this spacer doing this. pulling up and down, up and down, up and down. And every time it pulls down, it draws in. And then as it rotates around, it pushes up, it forces it through the only place it can go. So draw in, push up, out the deal. So that's the gist of it. I'm not going to take it apart anymore because I got to put it back together and I want to be able to use it. It's 24 volt. I got a separate power supply for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to switch the power supply or if I'm going to switch the motor, because I'm going to set up a timer and possibly some sensors, and I want to be able to automate this as much as possible because I get distracted. Oh, gotta go. There's the wife.